snow, but it looks like a dog swimming through whipped cream.
That is the most wholesome description of a gif I have ever heard.
It is indeed a adorable doggo, golden retriever, just bounding through snow that is as deep as it is tall. It is enjoying life.
Yes.
Something that is completely different to what our characters are going to be experiencing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it does look like whipped cream!
Yes. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Andy. Cute dog.
Andy is currently dying over a dog.
Uh, uh, I am armored. I am the murderer who kills people with cute images. And Geronimo.
Hey, I am the Danny Boop. I'm just looking forward to session tonight, just because D&D is fun.
Yeah. And as was previously established, not everyone might speak tonight. Just getting that out there in the forefront, just in case anyone watching is curious. If some people don't talk.
It's kind of gonna be like when we went through a mountain of reflection, but hopefully my computer won't fucking crash and burn.
That is always the hope. Really?
I mean, it did on this first session of the mountain, so hopefully it won't do so on this one.
Yeah.
Well, instead of a mountain, we jumped in a hole.
It's kind of the opposite of a mountain, really.
Well, truly, what goes up must go down.
But you have to get up to get down.
Get down tonight.
That's a different
Down
song,
with
but fair enough.
business.
Bailsy has only been going up. I don't want to see what happens when she finally drops.
It'll be like an asteroid.
Anyway.
Bill.
Speaking of
That
Pepsi.
was a nice continent you had there once.
Bill.
What?
Are you going to introduce yourself?
Did Failsy?
Yes. Yes, I say with a pregnant question mark.
Oh, I am Feltros. I'm playing the first victim, I guess.
I am Mythosia.
This is true some days.
It's true.
Alrighty then. And hello everyone, I'm Ash, the DM. I am the one who does the torture. Speaking of torture, let's get right into things. When Lastly left our party, a set of circumstances has led one of them to being pulled within a cavernous space filled to the brim with a strange blackened substance. To some members of the party, it is familiar. And to one specific member of the party, they've seen it multiple times. And their fear for the fact of what they know it to be has caused them to stay away. We're going to join that party member now. As Keta.
Hi.
You are currently in the cart, just trying to get yourself to calm down. There was a very intense sensation when you saw that before you. Just this need to run beyond even your own your flight or fight mechanics. Just this intense sensation to need to run to escape danger, and you couldn't fight it.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Breathe. Breathe.
Something happened out
It's
there,
fine.
kiddo? Gregory just stands up a bit from his chair, walks over
Now
to you.
you sit. Mm.
Standing up isn't gonna kill me. What happened?
So turns out the wellspring is actually a big scary fucking pit that yoinked Failsy down like hundreds of so feet because she pulled out the staff that she got from the cult, and then everybody went in after her, and I didn't go in, and I feel like shit, but I don't want to die again, and I had to fight the corruption.
Kid, calm down. Or slow down. He just puts a hand on your shoulder.
I can do this. Okay.
You don't have to force yourself.
Everybody went in after her, and I feel like a coward because I didn't go in. But I know what that looks like, and that's the corruption that I've seen before. And I had to fight that by myself.
Listen. Fear isn't something that you can just ignore. It's your body telling you that you recognize a danger before you. And if you know you can face it, then you can overcome that fear. But I'm looking in your eyes right now. If you go down there, you're just going to get yourself hurt.
Yeah,
You can't do something like this if you're afraid of it.
and I don't think it's just my own fear. I think even if I thought I could, I don't think. Oh, it's all too complicated. He was there when Kenta I assume he was probably in the room when Kenta explained the whole.
Yeah, he was present when you explained
Yeah.
at least the
Results.
basic concept of Amilux.
Even if I thought I could, I don't think that they would let me.
The second you living inside you.
Yeah. She's gonna look down at herself, make sure she's not like smoking.
Like, you actually do look down at yourself, and the tips of your fingers and like any small cuts you had on your body, specifically from going down that well, just the way you had to do it, you ended up getting scraped a little bit just in the process. Like, they're starting to leak just the smallest amount of that black smoke.
Oh god, okay. Everything's fine. I have control of myself. I am fine.
Physically, you are.
Spiritually now.
What is happening right now?
I don't know.
Okay, you did that on purpose. All right. Sorry. I'm not going to explain what's happening to anyone else.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the stream can see it.
Yeah. So, the best way to describe.
I showed you my leeches. Please respond.
The best way to describe what I saw before is it's a form of corruption. I think the best point of origin.
In the war, I know. I was in the war. I know what corruption is.
I expelled it from Gradum before, and I had to fight it. I had to fight one that was inside of me, I guess, or was me. That part is still a little weird, so I can only assume that they went down there and they're gonna have to fight that corruption, and I barely survived that fight, and I was only fighting with the strength of my dad behind me.
He reaches forward and puts a hand on your shoulder. Just gives you a squeeze.
Is she gonna hug him?
He allows it
It's a slight
because
hug.
he
It's
understands.
long.
He understands panic child,
Sorry.
and he just sort of like he hugs you back. Though it's with the confidence of wanting to comfort someone that you know is panicking, rather than any real familiarity. So
She's in,
Keta can experience that however she wish.
she just kind of, sorry. I am.
It's fine. Keta, look at me.
Looks up.
Your uncle, Brimstone.
Yeah.
He'd know a bit about this too,
Yeah.
but I guess you do as well at this point.
Unfortunately.
Corruption latches on to the worst aspects of your psyche. It finds what you don't want to hear or don't want to see, and it presents it to you laid bare in a twisted form. It's dangerous, but as long as you have confidence and willpower, you can overcome it. I know not a member of your group or your friends. They're all pretty fucking
Ash,
strong.
you're muffled.
I don't know how to
Ash,
fix that.
You were muffled for like 2.2 seconds, so could you just repeat the start of that sentence?
Just repeat your last sentence.
Okay. All your friends down there, they're all pretty fucking strong.
Especially Margan.
She's got her mall spirit.
I
You'll
guess
be able
that
to make it. You just have to be here for them. Because they're definitely going to need someone to talk to whenever they get out of there.
I'm not my mom, but I can at least listen.
That's what most people end up needing. Just someone to listen.
That honestly, that explanation of the corruption gives a little bit more credence to at least why the form took on. Mine at least took on the way it did. Mine was a twisted apparition of nature, one that was just kind of hell bent on destruction instead of growing.
Yeah. I've faced corruption before. And to me, it came to me in the forms of all of my companions that I had seen die, only to realize that I couldn't join them on the other side. Because of what I am. It latches on to your fear. It definitely latches on to what you don't want to see about yourself.
I can only hope and pray that they make it out at least somewhat okay.
Yeah.
Especially because Lee decided to go down there and
You actually don't know that. You went inside before you heard Lee say any of that.
I mean, she can assume that Lee went down because he didn't come back.
Yeah. You would just now be realizing that Lee never came back into the cart.
I just there's a pause. I was like, and she's gonna like open up the door and like look around.
You don't see anyone outside.
Oh God, oh, fucking hell! All right. Oh, that's gonna be fun. I feel like a generally kind of shitty girlfriend. Oh, okay. Alright. Shuts the door and leans against it. So it looks like everybody but me went in.
Well, all 5 of us. Well, 6, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, I have confidence in my friends. It's just, I feel terrible for saying it, but Lee, I'm anxious over. He's very sweet and he has a strong sense of himself and confidence in himself, but I worry.
Who knows? Maybe if he's that pure as you seem to think he is, corruption might not even find anything to latch onto.
I don't think he's pure. I just don't. It. He can't remember.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have remorses or fears, it can't hurt you.
My hands are shaking like a motherfucker.
Come sit down.
I feel. I mean, I was gonna go big, but I think that would be a bad idea. I should not be wielding knives at the moment. And she's gonna like see if Madame Elway's in her chair, just to kind of like curl up next to her.
Yeah, she is. She's just reading through one of the books you all have in the cart right now. You're not sure how many times she's read these books.
I don't know how long they're gonna be down there, but do you mind if I just curl up with you, Madame Elway?
The head just gently lolls over towards you. The lips curl into a smile. And she opens one of her arms for you to get in close with her.
She's gonna kind of settle in and curl up like she probably would have done with her parents when she was much younger. And just as she's settling in to probably get a nap, she's gonna kind of say to Alex, "We're fine. I have a control of the situation at the moment. We're fine."
Even he left. You just hear in the back of your head.
He didn't leave. He went after them. They're his friends too.
Sure. Just barely audible.
He cares about me. I know he does.
Does he? Does he really?
Yes.
Hmm.
If he didn't care, then Man, he is really in the wrong fucking spot.
Or does he
Because
just care? Because there's no other options right now.
he had plenty of options to leave me. Hell, if honestly I was in this fucking situation, I'd probably fucking leave me at this point.
It's just because he's too stupid to understand.
He's not. He may not be smart intelligence-wise, but he's very intuitive with emotions.
And yet he's not here trying to comfort you.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be up my ass 24/7.
There's nothing to see, but you feel the sensation of an eye roll.
Well, I'm sorry. I have you now to keep me company. It seems I've always had you to keep me company.
You don't get a response after that.
No matter what, people do like us. They want us. Despite your hatred of everything. Just know that. Because if we weren't worth all this trouble, then they would have abandoned us. But they came for us right away. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go get a fucking nap.
Again, there is no response.
Kata just, like, if it's best to be said mentally, just kind of, like, slams a door.
You close the door in your own brain.
Yes.
How does that work? Just,
Listen,
where am I?
I have
Look.
somebody else living in my brain at the moment.
Brain hand.
Keta is just literally has like a sitcom house inside of her brain right now.
Yeah.
Shut up, self. I'm not talking to you anymore.
All right, then. You snuggle into Elway, trying to get some rest, despite the adrenaline pumping through your body. And she brings her arm back down and covers you with her shawl. It's not terribly warm, but it's comforting.
Like a grandma.
Yeah. And the scene drifts down and down. Failsy,
Yep.
you're not sure what happened. You're trying to safely retrieve some of this material with the use of your mage hand, as you've done many times before. But something was wrong, and you felt it the moment that the magical influence touched this substance. Immediately, you were somewhere else. Jamel
There.
was gone. And there's just this odd sensation around you. Humid moisture. Even with your dark vision, you can't see. And you just feel breathing.
Right, where am I? Where's wife? Jamel? Oh, Jamel's gonna kill me after this.
You like toss around a bit as you're trying to figure out where you are. And there's a substance around your feet that you can, as you drag your feet through it, trying to like get a bearing of your surroundings. It doesn't part like liquid. There's a resistance to it.
Can I see it from, like, while standing, or do I need to, like, go down and touch it because I can't see shit?
You'd have to like bend over to touch it. You have like maybe like a few feet of visual clarity around yourself with your dark vision. But like even going down to like your waist, you can't see your legs with how weirdly dark it is around you.
Uh,
But if you were to bend down, you could probably see the ground.
just quickly having a look at my pockets. I have no torches because I don't need them.
Yeah, it's always a problem.
So I'm gonna bend down and see what the hell am I standing in.
You bend down and look down at the substance. With the lack of light and thus lack of color, You have to like run your hand through it, and you see like the visible trails left behind in the substance as it has to close itself back up. Whatever it is, it's somewhat clear and viscous.
Slime, mud, oil, or goop.
You would
Fantastic.
you would guess slime, as there's this weird smell to it, and the fact that it does look to be clear. You can still see the floor beneath it. But the floor is also bizarre in its texture. Though it's hard to tell if it's exactly the texture of the floor or the fact that there's this layer of slime over top of it.
Does it look like meat?
You give it a poke. Definitely is spongy. You do
Oh
just
boy.
feel like this occasional, like, warm blow of air breathes past you.
Oh boy. So not only have I been snatched out of Jamel's arms, I've been eaten. Ooh, what stomach am I in now?
Doesn't feel acidic. You would know if it felt acidic.
Kelsey's just making assumptions until she's proven otherwise.
Right. As you're standing there trying to parse this information, there is a sound that greets your ears, though. Just,
Hello?
I don't know if my microphone is picking that up properly.
I'm hearing it.
It is.
Cool.
At least I can hear it.
Yeah, it's just coming from one side of the tunnel next to you.
I was gonna follow it down.
Alright. You
Who
move
goes
it.
there? I warn you. Pissed off mage and I'll fucking blow you up if you want to fight me.
Alright. You move towards it. The sound gets louder and louder, and you start hearing more and more of it. Just around the walls surrounding you, there's just this weird creaking, squelching sound. And as you're getting closer and you realize that there are walls around you, it isn't just this ever expansive floor beneath you, as it seemed like it might have been before. You're in a small tunnel. As you move forward, you start to see on the walls around you, as it seems that your vision is starting to adjust to this darkness. Tiny moving forms, like the walls themselves are crawling forwards. Thousands and thousands of small, slimy creatures.
Ew. Kelsey's gonna try and use mage hand to try and pull one off the wall. She doesn't actually want to touch one at the moment.
Fair enough. You mage hand, and mage hand can only exert the 10 pounds of force, correct?
Yes, I think so. I can like lift 10 pounds of weight.
Mm. You go to pull one off the wall, but it's almost as if your mage hand gets stuck in the slimy substance that's crawling through. Not enough force to pull it off the wall. Though the touch does seem to irritate it. as you see these little luminescent lines start appearing on its back. And
Interesting.
as one is touched, the ones around it begin to light up. Then the ones around those begin to light up. And almost like a sonar pulse, you start seeing these rings of light travel down the tunnel until you realize the tunnel has an end. Or at least there's something blocking it. As a massive head starts scrunching forwards down the hole towards you.
Oh, that can't be good.
What do you do?
He runs the other way. Like, nope.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I am not good at those. I also need to be into the right page. There it is. Oh, connection issues? Why?
Because you live in Australia.
Let's see if this is still working. Rolling. 8.
Mm. You turn and start to run, and immediately it almost feels like the floor pitches underneath you. As this substance, normally thick and sticky, trying to run through it quickly, it's the sliminess of it suddenly makes it feel like you can get no traction under your feet, and you immediately are just sent sprawling onto your stomach and face on the ground. You can feel yourself starting to slide backwards towards this thing.
Well, if I'm going down, I'm giving you indigestion, asshole.
All right, what are you doing?
Failsy's gonna lob an entire bucket of acid straight into its face.
All right, what do you mean by
Acid
that?
acid wave.
All right, you using your acid wave spell?
Yep.
I will say that you will be in this blast radius with the current situation of things. Are you still wanting to do it?
How is it? So it's within, I think, 10 feet of myself.
Uh, I mean, acid wave due to the fact that it's just fireball. I believe it's a 20-foot radius, right?
Trying to figure out which of these buttons will give me a description.
Hit the eye inside of your spell list.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, 20-foot radius. Okay.
So if you were to
I'll do
use that in this tunnel, you would hit yourself as well.
I see. Then we'll just max power Chaos Bolt.
All right, go ahead. Make an attack roll.
Yeah, I've got that set up as a spell thing already. There it is. So that plus 2d6.
Yeah, make the attack roll first.
I was just checking to see what happens when I upcast it. So it's an extra d6 per level.
All right. And you're casting it at the maximum level you have access to right now?
Elsie just does not want any of this.
All right.
So
13 to hit. You
13 to hit.
unleash your Chaos Bolt forwards. Make sure to mark off your spell slot. You unleash your Chaos Bolt forwards, and it hits into this creature, but seems to have no effect on it. As you continue sliding forwards. First 10 feet forwards, it is moving forwards. You have another 10 feet before you would potentially be hitting into its body. At this point, I need you to also make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh. 11.
All right. You're starting to feel fear creep into the back of your mind as there's a chance of your impending doom approaching.
Fails going to roll onto her stomach, and for the third time, hopefully she doesn't blow her wings off again. She's going to try and cast wings and just fly down and avoid the muck below her completely.
All right, then. You flip yourself around as you're getting awfully close into colliding with this creature and spread your wings. There's just enough space in this tunnel that as long as you stay in the middle of it, you can actually fly. But as your wings start flapping, this creature starts to react more and starts to pick up speed as it moves forward towards you. But for the moment, you've evaded it. You get the sensation, though, if you land, you might not be able to get the traction of your feet back on this solid surface. A bit like hydroplaning. Now that your feet left the ground the first time, it's hard to get back down to the solid ground. Alright. Make sure to track your spell slots.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. But yes, you flap forwards and forwards. You see a break in the tunnel ahead of you. You have a split second. Which direction would you like to go? Left or right?
Fails going to go left.
Alright. You peel to the left. The surfaces around you still slick with this slimy substance. You're trying to get your bearings about you right now. The tunnel below you seems to be evening out to be more flat for a change, whereas you're realizing now, as you hadn't realized before, the rest of the tunnel you had been in and had been at a slight angle. You get the sense that if you were to try to land here, you could potentially get your feet back underneath you. Because again, flying in this space is difficult.
Fails is going to try and do a landing, but use the slickness, hopefully to advantage, and just do a baseball slide.
Alright. Make another dexterity check. Or dexterity save. I think it's the same thing for you either way, but still.
Yeah. 12.
Alright. It's not graceful, and you sort of land and then have to get yourself back up because baseball slide's usually like a full-on slide as opposed to just like a skidding stop. So you like land and skid for quite a few feet before you finally feel yourself slow down and you push up onto your feet again. There is still that strange smell in the air, though you're starting to smell something else. A weird, sweet smell.
Looking around at the horror show around her, it's like, oh, that cannot be good. She's thinking it's rot or decay.
It doesn't smell like rot, but it does smell sweet.
Since there's not much else to follow, she's just going to follow that then.
Alright. Moving forwards, you start to see little pieces of plant life poking up out of the sludge around you. You can't really tell what they look like, but you can distinctly see like mosses and these strange like hanging funguses from the ceiling around you. Moving
That's
further ahead, you start to see the walls leave your visual range again, as you can only assume you've reached some form of clearing.
looking around. I guess I can't see any giant face creatures yet.
You don't see any immediate giant face creatures. Looking back towards where you came from, you do see the occasional glow, though. Just this bioluminescent blue glow.
Guys will try and keep that in mind as a landmark in case she has to run back that way.
Alright.
And she'll continue on seeing what she can find here. Maybe she'll find, hopefully, a way out.
As you're moving forward into this cavern, another sound does catch you. Just a gentle dripping. The sound of water falling into a pool.
Guys is going to go investigate.
Right. It doesn't take terribly long. You do just find a large pool of water where it seems like a lot of these pieces of plant life are growing up out of. There's actually some bits and pieces of wood scattered around its edge as well.
Taking a look at the wood, can Felicity tell if there's been this was a part of something larger? Can she tell what it was a part of? Or if it's just
Uh,
random,
just seems to just be a broken piece of driftwood.
like from a ship?
I mean, you can make the assumption, but you don't know. It doesn't have like any discernible marks. It just looks like a broken piece of wood.
Mostly just finding out if it was processed or just a smashed bit of tree.
It doesn't just look like a stick. It looks like it had been a worked piece of lumber at one point. Because it has flat sides.
Okay, something else is down here, I hope. Is there like a path she could follow of broken wood? Or
It and it's not really a path. There are other pieces of scattered wood just along this water's edge.
how does it tell if the water's fresh water or salt?
You dip your tongue into it or something, or just like pick some up of it in your hand and like smell and taste it.
Yeah, she's gonna take a look at the water.
Right. You taste it. It doesn't taste like it has a particularly large amount of solidity to it, but it doesn't taste like fresh water.
Yeah,
It makes your mouth feel dry when it's in it.
goes spits it out. Nope. This place is horrible.
Yeah. It's not really something you're too familiar with, but vaguely reminds you of like contaminated with heavy mineral groundwater.
Oh, Fuzz is gonna try and follow the driftwood then.
Right.
Hopefully find a quick way out of here so she doesn't have to try and deal with this water if she has to stay here for a long period of time.
Alright then. You continue moving along, trying to find another path. And the scene cuts away from you. I have to roll to see who it cuts to next as you're trying to find your way around. Bear in mind that sensation of fear is not leaving you. You can't quite shake it.
Yeah, she's scared. She just
Yeah, she's an
think of
analytic woman.
thinking of anything else to do and get
Yeah.
away.
Okay, do.
This is why she has not stopped to analyze what the fuck did she just see.
The problem is, I talked to you, some of you, quite a bit out of game. So some of the messages we've previously shared have gotten buried slightly. And in specific reference, Dravinche.
Ah, yes, me.
Yes. As you fall into this liquid, there is a lurching sensation. Not terribly dissimilar to the heavy nausea brought on by intense vertigo. Yep. But not terribly dissimilar to the intense nausea brought on by heavy vertigo. Similar to what you felt when you were standing at the top of the Kronos labyrinth, to what all of you would have felt in that moment. But you sort of come to, and you're standing in a different place.
Okay. Oh.
There's cobblestone under your feet. You look to be in a marketplace.
Okay, let's see if this is like the mountain reflection. Velzy, you here somewhere?
You don't get a response, but make a perception check.
Perception. A 17.
You don't get a response, but you swear for a second. You look over and you actually see Failsy moving amongst other people around this marketplace. Her name is called and she looks towards you, but then just turns away.
Oh, what kind of mind games are you running, woman? He's going to try following after her.
Right. You do so, and it was for a second you saw her, but when you actually try moving towards her, she moves away, and you lose her in the crowd.
He's going to look around the marketplace, and in particular, he's going to be looking at people's faces. So, trying to discern, is this vision or not? No, like what? Trying to identify what kind of trick might be playing here. Are people with generic plain faces, or are there faces that have distinct features, faces that he potentially recognizes?
You look around you. Distinct features, for sure. Some of them you do recognize from back home. but there's this thing that keeps happening every time you look. You meet someone's eyes and they meet yours, and they turn away. Anytime you meet the gaze of someone, they don't seem willing to look at you. And even in like the hustle and bustle of the city streets, there is a space around you where it seems as though no one's willing to enter.
Okay. He's going to attempt to stop. Someone, excuse me. Uh, I appear to have gotten lost. Would you happen to know where I am?
You just grab a random person on the street.
Not physically grab them, but try to grab their attention and ask.
They turn towards you and start to answer, but the moment they look at you, they just almost seem to scoff and move away.
What, is there something on my face? He's he's going to try going to a vendor.
Alright. You do so, heading towards one of the stall vendors. Just a random one, the first one you see. And as you do so, the people realize or seem to notice you and move away. And the person running the stall looks at you. They just. Uh, uh, I'm sorry. I I have nothing to sell here. And they just pull the curtain at the front of their stall down, pretty much in your face.
What? Oh, come on. No, you clearly had merchandise to sell.
Nothing to sell, sir. Sorry, closing up for the day.
It's the middle of the day.
That's how it is sometimes. Please find your wares elsewhere.
He's going to do what he can to try to find anybody who will interact with him. Going through the crowd, visiting vendors.
Alright then. As you do so, I'd like for you to make a history check for me.
A history check. That is a 10.
That was the DC. As you are continuously turned away by everyone you try to address, you start realizing something. This is the market that's just about a city's block away from your family home. You were wondering why these people were so familiar, but you couldn't place it before. It's because these are faces you would see every day that you'd go out. Maybe not have names for them, but the sheer amount of times you saw them etch their visages into your mind.
Um, hmm, I recognize this place. There should be a tavern nearby, a few streets over. We'll go and check there.
All right. You start heading in that direction. I'd like for you to make me a perception check.
A 14.
All right. As you're walking, you hear two older women, two people that in your mind you remember they were local gossips. They loved to talk about people, to people watch, to know everything there was to know about anyone in the area. And as you're walking past, you just happen to hear the tail end of them saying something, just like, "Oh, that's her, boy. Make sure to steer clear. Don't want any trouble." You just hear that as you walk past.
And it's clear that they were discussing towards him. Or
Yeah, it's the first time you've heard someone really speaking, not like directly towards you or clearly an attempt to ignore you. This felt like it was directed towards you.
mm, he'll stop and turn. Excuse me. Uh, uh, might I have a moment of your time?
You watch as one of the older women, she just pauses and seemingly nervously turns towards you. Uh, 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 a moment couldn't hurt, I suppose. There's a lot of caution, no role required that you can see in her face.
Mm, thank you. I appear to have found myself a little lost. Hmm, could you please give me uh, the direction to insert local gathering place here?
Uh, for Travince's hometown, let's see. One of the local ones would have been the Firelight Tavern.
Hmm. Could you please give me the directions to the Firelight Tavern? I appear to have gotten myself a bit lost.
Um, any particular reason you're wanting to go there, dearie?
I'm looking for a friend who, and I was hoping to see if anyone had caught eye of her. She is rather noticeable.
Um, like the more you say to her, the more uneasy she seems to become. Uh,
Ah, it's clear I, for some reason, am making you a bit unnervous. I do greatly apologize, though I'm unsure of what I could have done wrong.
uh, in it's fine, dearie. The Firelight Tavern is just You actually watch as the other old lady sort of like grabs her arm, just like a gesture you can clearly see is seems to be telling her she has to stop talking. and she seems to be looking in a different direction than towards you. I'm terribly sorry. It slipped my mind in my old age.
No, I am sorry. I appear to be causing you some sort of disturbance. Please forgive my interruption.
It's fine. Yeah, you can clearly see that the other older woman seems to be looking towards something behind you.
Can I... before he turns around, can I insight the woman looking past him?
Sure. Go ahead.
8.
I mean, clear discomfort. She seems to be panicking about something.
Well, I will leave you two to your day. And he'll turn around to continue walking, trying to keep an eye on where, like, try while he's calmly turning to follow their eye to where they were looking.
Hmm. You follow their eye and give me a perception check with advantage due to incidentally helping you.
That is a 21.
Your eye just happens to catch at the corner of your vision the form of a very broad-shouldered individual. This is not an unfamiliar sight to you, having come from this place, to see the form of one of the debt enforcers.
He just kind of mumbles to himself. Yes, she spread some nasty rumors about me or something. He'll try to continue on and down the street, trying to keep an eye on the debt enforcer while steering clear of him on on the path to where he thinks the Firelight Tavern is.
All right. Go ahead and make another check for me. Yeah, another history check.
That is a 6.
All right then. You start going the direction you think it is. You've been these walkways before, though it's been a few years at this point since you've really explored them. You remember your old paths where you would go between buildings to get places faster, and you start thinking you'll rely on those to get there faster. But you must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. Rather than a tavern built into the residential area, as they often are around here due to the constant need for more and more space but not having more and more land, you come to a site that you have not seen and have been avoiding for some time. Making a wrong turn to one side, and you find yourself face to face with your old family home. There's something that's immediately wrong about it, though. There are no lights, like there would always be. Every home in Tezvarel has these small oil lanterns that are always lit around them or inside them. Due to how the buildings are constructed, they're close enough together that you need artificially created light to give a sense of illumination to the area, and the lights are out. And there's no front door.
He pauses, standing there, kind of unsure what to do. It, Get your head together. This is There's probably some sort of just like the mountain, just like the mountain. That he's going to try to basically stealthily approach the house.
All right, go ahead and roll a stealth check as you approach.
A 22.
All right, then. You make nary a sound as you approach the house, crossing the small. I mean, this is an uncommon sight among these parts, but the small lawn, or at least garden, that would normally be kept on the outside of a fairly well off home like what this one is. The garden is wilted and dead, though. And even though you walk carefully, you yourself, though the sound does not reach beyond you, can't help but feel the crunching of leaves underfoot. You know that's not right. You make your way to the front door, and the space beyond is dark. And there's a sense of foreboding ahead of you. I'd like for you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Nat 1.
A sense of fear immediately begins to crawl through your veins. And it feels so unnatural.
It
You can't. This can't be right. There's something wrong. What happened? The fear is overtaking you, but you can't help but move forwards, almost like your body is on autopilot.
it's just like the mountain. This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real.
The next thing that hits you beyond the fear is the smell. Decay and mildew and rusted metal. You look into the kitchen, and there's a cloth thrown over something on the floor. The living room. Something that's sat on a large chair now just has a cloth thrown over it, stained a muddy brown color. Two rooms you can see immediately upon entering the home. In two spots where you would always see your mother and your father, respectively. Now still forms covered in cloth lay, and the smell of decay is heavy in the air.
This isn't. Is it real? Is I too late?
Da Vinci.
Who? Who is that?
You turn around and see standing in the doorway the visage of a woman familiar to you. Her presence before you, despite her being shorter in stature than you are, feels towering. Just standing in this deep red with purple and gold trimming. A beautifully adorned suit. A large, wide-brimmed hat on her head. With some exotic bird feather you've never really been able to place. The woman you know, or now know, as Madeline Karma. And that fear you feel in the pit of your stomach just seems to drop.
M-
And she just,
Madam
as she just runs
Karma,
her fingers along the door frame's edge.
this is a rather awkward position that we have met. It's been far too long.
Oh, indeed it has. A shame, really. I hoped you'd come to me of your own will. But they never would accept the price for all they wanted. Oh, but here you are now. Are you going
And
to run again?
and have your men chase me down? Not and to do what you did to my family?
She starts walking towards you.
He
A
steps
sway
back.
to her hips. Her presence is. It's the strangest thing. The situation is as it stands, but her presence, her expression, is flirtatious of all things. And the situation and the fear you feel, and the fact that she's making a face like that, you can feel your guts churning like you want to be sick. People with no regard for the fact that I am doing something right now.
Dravenche is going to reach and draw out his cutlass. Please, I I would feel more comfortable if you would stay back a little.
She does not stop. Oh, pretty boy, Dravenche. You really think that's going to work for you? Though I do suppose, if you're willing to draw your sword for me, we might be able to make a deal. And I don't mean the one forged of steel.
I am terribly afraid. While I might accept your offers another time, right now is not exactly the optimal time. He's continuing to match her step by step, stepping backwards.
You continue to do so eventually reaching that familiar set of stairs behind you. Oh, Travinci, I'm not going to let you run. And I think you're well aware. I don't take no for an answer.
Let
At this point, you are starting to get the fear inside you is starting to well up to the point of needing to run.
let and can't are two different things. And I'm currently not one to give a choice in this matter. And he is going to immediately try booking it up the stairs, trying to, knowing the layout of the house, find the nearest window and jump out of it.
Alright then. As you book it up the stairs, there's something in your psyche that can't help you but let this happen. Your eyes glance through the other open doorways, the upstairs where the bedrooms are, and just more cloths laid out on the floor, on the bed. One just stuck to a wall. It almost looks, in the moment you have to process it, like they just kicked the door down and no one had any time to react. There's a large
Here's
window facing the front of the house. A, a bronze crosshatch lay in the middle of it, but it does hinge open all the way. Are you just going to try
the
to leap through it?
2 points of order. One is, how many bodies does he see on the upstairs?
You would see the rough total of your family members. I say because, admittedly, due to my own brain, I do not remember exactly how many people still lived in Dravinche's home.
Uh, you just above game. He's family of 8. We've established that at least one of them died to sea.
Yeah.
So
I would say in
at
this
most
occasion,
there'd
then
be
you
6.
see. Yeah, I would say in this occasion you would see 5. You don't have the most time to look around, but at a glance you see 5.
Mm, He's just at a glances through, glances around, panicking, looks to the window. I'm sorry, you old thing. And he's going to try to shoulder shove the window open, jump out to, and he's going to initially, he's going to, panicking, attempt to use his one of his spells of Knight's Move.
Alright then. You do so. This old window is in no shape to offer resistance. It hasn't been. Oop. Okay. It hasn't been oiled properly. It has not been maintained. So the moment your body weight hits against it, the hinge that would allow it to swing open just shatters. You go flying out the front of it and try as you're falling to use your knight's move. But then you remember, no magic is forming.
Shit.
At this point, make a dexterity saving throw as you try to roll as you hit the ground.
A 9.
You
That's a-
land hard on your
Damn it.
shoulder.
It's a 2 on the die.
You land hard on your shoulder as you hit the ground and roll, leaving yourself in a heap. And in that moment, you hear a shot from a gun behind you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That is an 11.
You hear the shot, and you suddenly feel a sharp pain in your shoulder facing upwards. And then you feel this cold sensation from the wound. You look over towards it, and there's a syringe sticking out of you. And immediately your world begins to go black.
You... I'm sorry, Marianne.
Before your eyes close, you just see her face above you. Just that smile. I said you couldn't run. Now we cut over to Brimstone. But actually, let's go ahead and take a break.
Fuck it! I'm a killer!
I think we are.
Hey, that's my thing!
Well, I'm glad I've made a hateable villain.
Oh, very much so.
Like I said, this is one of the very few times where Brimstone just be like, Failsy, kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Failsy, I know you like acid. All of it. Right now.
So far, Revenge is not in a good spot. Fails is not a good spot. We're gonna find out about Brimstone.
And we have no idea about either Lee or
What again?
Jamel or Morgan.
Keta is dealing with a moody fucking teenager in her head, and she's done.
Look, no, it's just like, because Keta is very much pastel princess. So this is so Keta is Starfire, and this is just her Raven. Unfortunately, without any of the redeeming qualities of Raven.
And it's to the point Keta's like, God damn it, child. Like, for 5 fucking seconds.
You can
All
quit
right, well.
bitching for 5 minutes!
All right,
I
people,
don't need
five
to use that
anyways,
amount
5
of
to 10
usage.
break.
Yeah, break.
Time for me
Alright,
to
you went
read
to
through
the
all of the
bathroom.
commentary you guys made while I was talking.
Ooh, that was fun.
Revenge, do you need a hug? Do you need a hug?
He might.
You need a hug and maybe a hit. Take it out on somebody.
I like all of the urge to kill rising. And ew.
Yeah, just oh boy, poor Da Vinci, those poor rolls.
They
He could
worked
have had
perfectly for the narrative, though.
Yes, he could have had a chance. He could have had a chance.
You wouldn't have got far.
Oh no, he wouldn't have got far, and he is maximum panic.
Yeah, and the fact that you were panicking so hard is what the roll was for the Constitution save was 15, but you were panicking so hard that it since you failed it, it went way faster than it should have. Because as we all know, the worst thing to do when you're affected by some kind of poison is panic, because your heart makes it faster.
Yep.
Yeah, I really understand Alex's like slight edge. I can understand it to a degree, but like, damn.
True, but think about what Keta might be experiencing if she were currently in this situation.
Oh, I think she'd be dead. She would not come out of here alive. She barely survived her first encounter with her corruption.
Trinksy, Da Vinci is fucking pank right now. What does that mean?
What?
As-
Pank?
I think you missed the I for panic.
Fair. Also, yes, sleep darts are a thing in this world.
Ah, terrifying.
I wanna rip this woman to shreds. Like I want to steal her fancy hat.
I want to rip her to shreds, and I want her hat. What are you, a TF2 player?
In priority order.
Look,
Death, then hat.
death, then taxes.
Listen, I can clean off a hat of blood. It's fine.
I mean,
Yeah,
with
but
how she
it's-
wears her clothing, you wouldn't even see the blood.
But it's also still tainted with her existence.
True. I can steal the feather at least.
Okay.
If Kessa ever had to meet this woman, she'd be like, alright, where's some dog shit so I can step in for a few seconds before I can go just smash all over hers?
I mean, I don't think it's an if. I'm sure we'll have to confront this bitch.
Oh,
Whenever
which by the way, to like give the idea of what the hat actually looks like, it's not like a derby hat. Andy, you were just having problems with Discord today, aren't you?
Today?
Right now.
I was more meaning that as in today as an exception to the rule.
Fair. No, but this isn't like a derby hat in its form. This is not like a Madame Dimitrescu hat.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
No, this is like an actual like traditional fedora, but the brim is wider.
Oh.
It's actually really similar to the hat that you've seen Velshaw wearing.
Ah.
Now that we know that's why she wanted Da Vinci, it's like, oh god, poor boy.
I
Hello?
think that's been made. Hello, Andy.
I don't
Discord's being an ass.
I don't know if it was enumerated in explicit terms.
Heavily implied.
I am very oblivious.
It's all good.
Yeah, so that's just a glimpse of what Da Vinci has had to be living underneath, basically.
Oh, terrifying. We're gonna kill this bitch.
It's actually pretty much what she's wearing is this image of Velshaw.
Just red instead of purple.
Is I mean, we've never met her, so I know it's never been actually enumerated in game. But I don't. Is Lady Karma a human or
She's an elf.
elf? Gross. Even worse.
Elf, you say?
Yeah, she's an elf that the current theories or the current rumor persists that she is originally from the Drake Empire.
And apparently, she's into nubile slave boys.
You're not wrong.
I know I'm not.
She wanted Da Vinci when he was a kid.
Ah!
Makes it
Theory for a little while.
infinitely worse.
Get this bitch!
I've had a theory for a little while. Because the descriptor of a smiling elf is also in one of Failsy's backstory bits.
Oh fuck! It's the same person.
Well, I didn't expect it to happen that way, but apparently, Boris turned up. It's like, oh yeah, that was one of the people dragging Failsy around the goddamn desert.
She wanted Dravince to make a little cult of her own.
Yep. A smiling, red-haired elf.
Cool. So I have reason to hate this bitch, other than she'd be willing
There's
to.
a lot of reasons to hate this bitch.
Other than she'd be willing to murder Dravince's entire family.
To send a message.
Well, now you don't actually have to ask Failsy to murder. It would just be the same.
No, I think Failsy just catches a glimpse, just boom.
It's like
it's just fucking full Vegeta.
I just picture Dravince finally opening up and talking about Madame Karma, and just Failsy like a single gear ticks in her head, and it's, we need to go to Tezrael now.
No. What I'm picturing is just none of us are paying attention to Failsy except for Jamel, and then we just see Jamel just tackle Failsy in the ground while she's spewing acid and just, huh? Oh. So now we have another reason to kill this bitch.
You just watch Failsy set up another confrontation with a.
Yeah! He just disguising herself as Dravince this time instead of Keta. It's the same shit, too. And then it's just like, you're not Dravince. Bah! Just going full exorcist on a bitch.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Is everyone good to continue?
Yee.
Which, by the way, I said this was like the Mountain of Reflection. We may actually get through all of these tonight.
Maybe, depending on how long they go, or how many parts these have.
Well, the NPCs aren't going to have theirs stated out loud, because that would just be me talking for a long period of time.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I just know what's happening to them. Why did my phone just ring?
Yeah, I just don't know if you're gonna go back to Failsy or back to Dravince. I don't know if they're done or not. Yeah, exactly.
Why do I have so many texts?
I don't know if Failsy passed her test or just yeeted herself out of the test. It's like, nope.
Yeah, exactly. It's more. I don't know if that's it or if there's more, because
Hello. Thank you, robotic person. I do not want to have sex with you.
Oh.
They got one of those stupid, text email things about, single person in your area wants to bone.
Oh, gross. I think I got a text like that recently, and I was like, although it wasn't even my fucking name. I was like, bruh, if you're gonna text me, the least you can do is give a fucking name right.
Wherever you found my number, you should at least know my name. It should be attached to the same thing.
That's what you think.
That's what you think, but nope.
Try not to think. It makes the brain go ouchy.
Fair. All right, but if we're all good to continue.
Yee.
All right. That is where the Dravince scene ends. I'm yawning for some reason.
Sleepy.
Just a little bit. I slept well last night, but it was the first time I had slept well in about a week and a half.
And usually my brain wants the ball rolling. Yeah. I just realized I've got this whole thing with an opening my character sheet. I should probably do that before, I have to do things.
So now we cut over to Brimstone.
Hi. Wait. No, I don't want to be here. Too late now.
Too late. You're already here.
Yeah.
You boom, into the liquid. And
Andy disappears.
Discord hates Andy right now.
I think they're restarting their laptop.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep going so we can fill them in text.
Okay. Okay.
You splash into this liquid, and the sensation is immediate and familiar to you. You have felt this before while on the war front.
Mm-hmm.
This prying sensation into your very soul, pulling out everything that you are.
Okay.
And you find yourself, as your vision clears from the black substance dripping off of your face,
Fucking gross.
you are currently standing in the middle of a field, just a grassy field. And there's just silence around you.
Just kind of look around to see if there's anything around or if it's just field as far as I can see.
You look to the north and south. It's field, just rolling hills and field. Farmland you can see in the distance. It's familiar, though it's hard to place. Until you turn and your eyes meet a familiar home. Though you're trying to place it. It's isolated, away from the world, away from society. It was the perfect place for what happened to have happened, and for no one to know it. The home you shared with your mother and your father before everything happened.
So Alright.
The front door creaks open, and out walks a face that you never thought you'd see again. At least the way you remembered it. Ileana walks out. Brimstone! What are you doing? Come inside!
Just approach. Uh lost my thoughts.
You've been like that a lot recently.
Uh, uh,
I guess desk work has never really suited you, has it?
God. Oh. It's awful.
Well, come on in. Me and your mother have been trying out a few new recipes. They're not perfect yet, but I think you'll still like them.
Mom's here.
I mean, of course, where else would she be? It was nice of them to let us live with them until we find our own place. City prices are expensive, you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You walk inside, and the scent around you is that of savory baked goods. You get the meaty smells of filled pastries. That is all in one familiar and weirdly sad. It's a smell that you remember. A distant dream of a scent of a better time. You glance into the kitchen as Ileana leads you forward, and you see your mother, advanced in age, currently somewhat unsuredly with her grip, a bit wobbly, reaching into the oven with a mitt to pull something out, and Ileana pats you on the shoulder, then rushes forward. Oh, don't do that. You're gonna drop it. We've worked so hard on these. Oh, I know. You know me, I don't like waiting. They have to rest. And if you leave them in the oven too long, they're going to burn more than they already have. That's what you get for getting me too involved in that book. But you are enjoying hearing it, right? Well, I can't say no to that. They get set on top of the oven, and the two of them turn towards you. Do you want to try one when they're right fresh out of the oven? I know you're better at eating things hot than I am.
Just kind of cocks at his head. Really? I have no idea why that might be. Of course I do.
Well, come on, come on. Oh. Brimstone, dear. Was your father almost done when you left?
Uh, no. But,
Hmm.
I mean,
Darn.
I don't think I saw him.
Hmm. I'd hoped that man would actually come home on time for a change. He's always wants to stay so late, always working too hard. Oh, a shame.
Yeah.
I'll have to give him another earful when he gets home.
Yeah.
She sort of cocks her head towards you. Is something wrong, Brimstone?
Uh, I I don't know.
Hmm. Well, I don't normally condone this, but I know what always helps your manly folk clear your heads after a hard day's work is an ice glass of ice cold scotch. I'll go get the ice. Ileana, dear, could you please get something out of the cabinet for them? Hopefully his father arrives home before too long. Of course, Mama. Ileana puts a hand on your shoulder. Are you still having bad dreams about the war or something? Something on your mind?
A lot of things.
Well,
I mean,
a
yeah.
drink may help quiet your thoughts. We can talk after dinner, okay?
Uh,
All right. Well, you might as well pick something. Your father's liquor cabinet is quite extensive, and even I don't know half of what it is.
I mean, neither do I.
Pick a
don't know.
bottle and you're willing to bet it tastes good if he's willing to buy it, right?
Yeah.
She just smiles at you. And it's pretty clear from Brimstone's tone that he's at a loss, I can tell.
Yeah, it's just none of this makes sense, and he doesn't know how to feel about any of this. Like, this is. I guess the best way to describe this is it almost feels like he just won the lottery after finding out that money is of no consequence and would not do anything to help him. Where
It's a
yeah,
fair way to put it.
where he knows this isn't real, but God, it would be nice.
Okay, come on, let's find something then. She just walks you over to a section of the kitchen which just has this ornate china cabinet set up in it. We just look inside, and this is a piece of furniture you well recognize. This was in your home. And just as you see it now, it is well stocked with different, fairly fine alcohols. Let's see. You recently got this stuff, though I've never actually had it before. It's an import from Graynham. And she just pulls out a bottle with the uh, Daniel Jack's label on it.
Huh.
It doesn't even look like he's tried it yet, though I don't think he was saving it for any kind of special occasion.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Something about it seems familiar.
Oh, well, Graynham does provide a lot of the war rations. Maybe it's something that was sent out to the troops. I mean,
Maybe.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think it was terribly expensive. Let's try it.
I mean, alright.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. She walks you over to the table and has you sit down as your mother has now procured a couple of glasses with large ice cubes in them. A shot is poured. Well, not a shot, but like a glass is poured.
Mm-hmm.
And Ileana also takes one. And your mother gives a bit of an eye towards Ileana as she does this, but your mother was a bit of a traditionalist when it came to such things, and to drink after a hard day's work is, I mean, it's stereotypically known as a male thing to do, not a female thing to do. But she doesn't say anything about it. She just takes a drink of it and just like, never have had as much of a taste for this as you all do, but mm, it's smooth.
Man. Works.
Do you take a drink of it?
A small one.
Yeah. The taste is familiar to you. This is a drink that you didn't have terribly long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, though. When you had it at the Emerald Plateau with everyone, I mean, it tasted the way it does now, but it was just a drink. Alcohol to get drunk. There's something about this situation that makes it feel fuller. The flavor is more apparent. You can discern more of it. It feels, for lack of a better term, it feels more real. It feels more right. Mm. Well, what do you think? I gave my thoughts, you might as well give yours.
I mean, it's. I've had this before. I can't really place when. Something about this is more, though. I don't know if maybe it's just better quality or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, if you had it in the war, you probably didn't have it on ice, and that is apparently a big part about the flavor of these things.
Yeah, probably not.
Drinking them straight is a very different flavor.
Yeah,
A lot more burning, too.
yeah.
Alright. I'm going to help your mother with dinner. Why don't you just relax for a little bit, okay?
I mean, I make no guarantees, but try.
At least just sit down and let the smells of our wonderful cooking fill your nose. Do you want anything in particular?
Eh, no, not really. I mean, I'm not the one doing all the work, so
Hmm. Well, you know that the work means nothing to me if you don't enjoy it. She just pokes you on the forehead. You liking it is what makes the work worthwhile.
I don't know.
Although knowing you, you'll just say that you like anything I make.
He like goes to make a rebuttal and just. Mm.
Oh, you're so unhelpful. And the poke turns into a light flick. Alright.
Hey,
Don't act like it hurts. You've had worse.
I have, but it's the emotional damage.
Oh, don't worry. It doesn't hurt that bad. Besides, she just leans down and kisses you on the same spot. I can make that emotional damage go away just as easily.
Hmm.
And she walks off. You're currently in the sort of dining room area. The kitchen is attached, but not entirely visible from the dining room. You can just hear your mother and Ileana idly chatting as they begin preparing the evening's meal. A few minutes pass, and you do hear the front door open again. You hear talking and then a familiar voice as Redemption pokes his head into the dining room. Oh, there you are.
Uh,
Hey, I saw you leave earlier. Is everything good? You don't usually leave early.
uh, eh, got all the got all the pencils pushed and all the eraser sharpened, so you know.
Uh, Yeah, I know you don't like this work. It's keeping things organized on the front. Helps the troops that can still be out on the battlefield help keep things organized, keep things moving. Logistics. I know it's a word you think is the worst one in the world.
I mean, they're fine as long as I'm not the one who has to do it.
You're pretty good at it, though.
It's numbers. I mean, other than the fact that the numbers are also people, and subtracting people is less fun than subtracting numbers.
You're not wrong. It's easy to understand why some of these people running all of this show behind the scenes, they can forget about who's actually doing all the work. I'm glad they're finally letting some of us who have seen the battlefield start working on it. We've had decreases in losses because of it.
Small mercies, at least.
Yeah. He sits down pretty much across the table from you, just because it's the closest seat to where he entered from. Oh, your dad should be home pretty soon. He and Wilton were having a discussion before we left.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what I mean by a discussion. He just does the like thumb and all of the fingers making a talking motion. One of those in the old days discussions.
Oh. A lot of reminiscing.
Reminiscing and talking about prices and export expenses going up. Mm.
Right.
Yeah. So, and he like glances towards the. He glances towards the kitchen. I was thinking because she's finally getting to wanting to leave the house. If I brought Keta over here for a little while so she could meet your little one too. Do you think that'd be all right?
He actively flounders.
I know. This country air can have a lot of pollen and stuff in it, and Keta doesn't do very well with that. But I know the season's getting close to done, so things are starting to die down a little bit. Just wanted to know if you thought it would be okay.
I mean, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, it would. I guess it makes the most sense for the two of them because we're basically related as it is. So
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even think it's really basically at this point.
I mean,
All
everything.
except for in blood.
Yeah.
I've always been thankful for you all helping us take care of Keta.
And it's not every day that my brother, both in battle and in effectively blood, has a child, and it's not every day that that child is struggling, to put it lightly.
She's been doing better lately.
God, I hope so.
She's 14 now, And she's finally getting to the point where she can actually like run around outside, and you actually see just like the barest hints of just like his eyes watering up a little bit.
Don't cry. God.
Listen, it's hard not to. I'm happy.
And so am I, but you don't see me crying.
Well, yeah, but I never see you crying. Jesus, man, if you were to cry once in a while, people might not think you're as scary looking.
Have you tried giving that suggestion to your dad?
Listen, there are limits to everything in this world.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Ketcheth doesn't think he's scary, at least, so that's nice. She
I mean,
thinks
yeah.
he looks like a giant teddy bear.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, have you seen the two of them together? If it weren't for the fact that it's your dad, it might actually be a little cute.
I do still think it's cute, but just not physically. Emotionally, it's cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to forget, you know.
That is the man that could rip your leg off if he wanted to. And then
Well,
beat you to death with
yeah,
it.
and also the man that yelled at me for 3 hours straight because I stayed up 15 minutes late once.
He's a fan of his curfews.
I
I won't
am.
deny that.
We are both well fucking there.
Yeah. Sleepovers, never very fun. Don't know why we
No,
had them.
I don't know. Try to get into the armory.
Mostly.
We tried.
We succeeded a few times.
Yeah,
Those were worse when we actually did it.
yeah. Like, you know, just point at the broken horn. That time.
Yep. You hear footsteps approaching from down the hall. Dad? And in the next moment, what you see, you just feel a drop in your stomach. Just a little girl. No, she's a little girl to you. At this point, she's around, I believe it would be around 16, but she never stopped being a little girl.
Yeah.
They never stopped being a little girl. Oh, Dad, you're home.
Yeah.
Well, how was work? And she walks over to you.
I mean, you know, it's. I mean, I've waxed on and on and on about, you know, how it was out there, but I mean, it's nice to be able to come home at the end of the day and, you know, see you and your mom and your grandma. And
All right. Don't get sappy with me.
I will get as sappy as I want, little lady.
Fine. But you better not have forgotten your promise.
Oh no.
Oh, you actually forgot your promise? You're gonna teach me how to shoot a gun today. Redemption just gives you a hard look.
Honey,
Really?
what did I say about promising dangerous things and reminding me about them in front of your uncle?
To do it exclusively so that you can't back down.
I mean, yeah, that
Come on, let's go. She just like grabs your hand and starts pulling you.
Okay. Okay.
I've waited this long. I'm not gonna wait any longer.
All right.
Brimstone.
Mm.
He just is giving you the very like the judging friend look.
Look. You can still heal. You can still heal things, right?
He pushes him. He grabs both arms of the chair and pushes himself up. I'm gonna have to make sure you both don't kill yourselves.
I'm
Yay.
not going to kill myself.
Please make sure they don't kill themselves. All right, Ileana. I'll make sure these two idiots don't.
Hey.
Don't call my daughter an idiot.
Yeah.
You two are always on the same page.
Yeah.
I suppose me and Vivian aren't that different.
No. It's really annoying sometimes. Like, it's cute, but in the way that makes me want to throw up.
I heard that.
What? That's about them, not us. We're great.
I can't argue.
I hope not.
You two. Let's go before your daughter pulls your arm off.
Yeah.
You actually look.
Yeah.
There's no brand on your arm.
Just kind of like cursory glance at the rest of effects. Is that the only thing missing from a quick visual inspection?
I mean, the scars you got in the military, at least the ones you can see, considering you are wearing clothing right now,
Yeah.
all still there. The brand missing. I mean, you're wearing civilian clothes right now. You're not garbed in armor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from the brand being gone, there's nothing you immediately notice that's different.
Huh.
Come on. And he just Redemption just slaps you on the back.
Ah! Fucker.
Yeah. You start making your way towards the front door of your home. And as you step through it, you don't see your daughter. And you smell smoke. You turn around.
Fucker.
You turn around and are greeted with the visage that you recognize. Your family home in flames, crumbling. You grip your arm as there's a sudden sharp pain. You realize all at once that you feel faint from blood loss. I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
No idea.
That's a
Decent. I
failure.
don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that'll still succeed though.
It's a high DC.
Yeah, I figured. Mm-hmm.
It's not so much fear, or maybe it is. You felt fear plenty of times, but this feeling is worse. This dread of seeing what your life could have been like and knowing what it actually is. You pass out from blood loss in front of your burning family home, and the scene goes dark. That leaves but one. Morgan, as you fall into this liquid, the world around you goes dark. And you're just drifting downwards. It's like you've fallen into water. And you're just letting yourself fall to the bottom. A feeling that you're familiar with. Without thinking, you let your air escape you as you drift downwards. Like the scene around you shifts, almost as if you've fallen through a pane of glass. The shards scatter around you, and in each one you see a reflection. You see yourself reaching towards and picking up Sonata. You see Sonata holding on to you tightly, and you remember in that moment the relief you felt of saving this little girl. But the reflection doesn't show you, it shows the eyes on you. It shows the party members largely relieved of their concerns having fulfilled this task. But you can see a different expression on one of their faces. Failsy's face is twisted into a sneer for a second. You almost feel like there's a jealousy there. But it fades. Another piece of glass drifts past your vision as you're falling further into this liquid. In its reflection, you see Elway as she has pushed the party back, pushed Failsy back after appearing as if from nowhere. You wanted to step forward in this moment to protect your friends, but you were afraid of the woman approaching you. And you just watch as the blade appears out Elway's back, just as you remembered seeing it. But could you have stopped that if you were a little faster? You see the visage further on in that moment. Shocked, confused. You stand up only to see that giant creature that had been chasing you grab the device Keta was suspended in, rip her from it, and leave through a gateway. You wanted to act, but there was no time. Or was there? Could you have done something? Another pain drifts past, and you just see Gregory and Dravinche run through with black tendrils. One that you know was meant for you. And yet you didn't receive it. You could have stopped that. But you weren't given the choice. drifts further down. You see more reflections of dread. Your relationship that failed due to a condition you couldn't control. Little failings that cropped up everywhere. Eventually it settles as one pain finally drifts past you. Of the night you did act. You saw what was going to happen. And you did stop it. You stopped your father from striking. And you threw him from your home. But unlike before, where in that moment you couldn't remember his face, the rage, the need to protect was too much. But you see it clearly in this reflection. The expression of a man filled with sorrow and fear, realizing what he had almost done, and hating himself for it. The reflection follows him, you disappearing from its sight. Beyond what you could see, you just see him huddled in an alley, weeping to himself as he tries to make some semblance of sense of everything that has happened around him. And that pain drifts away. You feel your back hit the or not the surface. You feel your back hit solid ground, the bottom of this liquid. And you feel, for the first time since you let the breath escape yourself, knowing that you were going to die in this moment, thinking about everything that had happened in your life leading to this moment. You feel a comforting hand. As something presses against your shoulder. Unlike these pains, reflected memories you could see in your mind, but it's like you could see them physically before you. The thing you see beside you is a familiar sight. The frozen crystal of purples and blues that you'd seen one time before. You start to feel... Sorry, go on.
No, you weren't. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you start to feel the pain of suffocation in your chest.
Her having a feeling that this is the source of what saved her all those years ago when she was ready to give up. She's reaching for that crystal.
You reach for it, and you take it in your hand. And this is something you realize. You don't remember how this played out before. You just remembered drowning, and then waking up on the edge of the pool, a blade in your hand. What you hold in your hands now is not a blade, or at the very least, it isn't one yet. It's a shattered sliver, elongated, but thin and sharp. And as you grasp it, you feel your fingers cut into by its glass edge. You see the crystal itself, blues and purples, turn darker and more solid as the blood from your fingers runs into it. And you feel a familiar presence and hear a familiar voice into your mind. You don't need to be scared when I'm here. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Will do. 21.
You are the only person to not succumb to this feeling. This familiar presence that has always been with you for as long as you've journeyed outside your home. This comforting friend who has always done what it could to steer you towards maybe not a righteous path, but a life worth living.
Not
And she
only
is not going to fail you.
just hearing that, she says back in her mind, not only do I have you by my side in this, I don't have time for this bullshit messing with my head.
The scene around you, much like the panes of glass you saw drifting around you as you fell into the water, cracks and shatters. And you see your companions who had been in there with you, all laying on the ground, mumbling incoherently, as a form rises up from the sludgy water around you. So someone's not afraid.
Oh, I'm fucking terrified. But my determination and the love I have for my friends is stronger than that fear.
Wonderful. The rest of you stir but can't shake that sensation. The only other person standing right now is Lee.
Morgan sees this, I'm assuming, as
That's my
well.
boy.
Yes. You see Lee is standing. He looks confused and dazed, but unlike everyone else who is currently almost comatose on the floor, he's not. As you just see this slimy, scaled creature, its neck twisting around almost like a worm, and these gigantic laser light eyes looking towards you. You can't help but have a word ring in your mind and think of a creature you've grown to hate already. Dragon.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah?
Think you can try to get the others up while I deal with this?
I'll do my best. Okay. He just starts slapping the people around him, which is going to be specifically Failsy and Dravinche is going to be the first people who get woken up as we're moving in to combat. But, in fact, we're gonna pick that up next time.
Oh,
I don't want to go over.
No, that's fair.
I don't want to go over, and we already had some tension tonight.
I did not expect to get to be a badass at the end of session. Sorry.
You were the
Hey,
person I was
no need to
expecting
be
to have a
sorry.
chance of it.
Yeah.
You have a good wisdom saving throw and advantage on it, so I was hoping you were the one who got to be at least the only one standing.
At
I
least
got-
of the player characters.
I got close-ish.
as he failed.
I nat one.
The DC was 18.
I got close-ish.
All right. So as the Jabberwock stands in front of you,
Oh, fuck.
we'll see what happens next time.
Yay!
I'm gonna poke it with a stick.
It doesn't look quite the same as it does in the game or in the manual, but
I mean, they're still... even just when you go with the Lewis Carroll description, these things are fucking terrifying.
the Lewis Carroll description is there is none.
Hello?
Hello.
Sorry, I had to switch to my phone because everything was being stupid. I love that just during all of this, Ket is upstairs. She's just
Yeah.
up.
She's taking a nap.
In my mind, she's currently arguing with Amulux over the fact that, her friends love her.
Oh no, this was
Probably.
all like real time happening at the same time. Keta would be napping at this point.
Party's gonna bust in, all just fucking gooped up and just terrible looking. Ket just be like, hi. I took a nap. I was so scared that I took a nap.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, she
I
would
hope-
not have done good in this.
I hope everyone had fun with this. It was fun to write,
Yee.
Yay!
and this is why whenever the DM asks you what's your character's biggest fear, you don't answer. You're
That
just
feels
I didn't read my DMs. I'm sorry.
unsporting.
Yeah, that feels dishonest and also lazy.
I
I
had fun
answered...
writing them.
Yeah. I answered truthfully. I love what you did with what I gave you.
Yeah.
You made me feel things. I don't appreciate this.
Well, yeah, I could explain to you guys what all of the specific fears I was, or would you guys like to know the through factor of all of the fears I was presented with?
Sure.
Sure.
Abandonment.
Huh.
Abandonment and the fear of losing people.
That checks out. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like Failsy, there was no one there. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I remember you saying Keta was the only one that was different, I think it was?
Yes, the fear you gave me for Keta didn't involve being abandoned. It involved, well, you know part of it, but
You can say
it
it
didn't
out loud.
involve being a bit. Okay, yeah, it involved thinking that Lee didn't love her, which Omnilux is kind
Already
of focusing
The
on
manifestation of
because-
that fear.
Yeah. Omnilux is essentially the manifestation of Keta's self-doubt, which is what her fears were kind of centered around.
Self-doubt and edgy angst.
She is a teenager.
Yeah, I know.
She is 19.
That just reminds me of me when I was that age and I was an edgy little shit, and now it's like, you dumb motherfucker.
I think
think
we've
of-
all had those.
True!
I did not have an edgy phase.
You just
That's
had
fair.
I really fucking love math and baking phase.
Yeah.
I do feel kind of bad because Keta if it was any other instance, Keta would probably fed into the fear, but she's tired. Too much adrenaline and just a lot happening at one point. She's like, "Fuck this shit, fuck everything." I have to have you in my head. My God.
You might have seen. I'm not gonna lie, but this is just something to know. It would have been interesting if Keta did still decide to go, even though I didn't expect her to,
I mean, okay,
because she wouldn't have just seen her fears.
I would have seen what I've seen Omnilux's fears.
Yeah. You and Omnilux would have had to face them together.
Oh,
Which
fun.
In the hole.
Interesting. But you
I
did
was
call...
debating.
Ash, you did call end a session?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's okay for us to have just a tiny bit of discussion at the end of it, considering we actually are ending early and we started on time.
That is true, although, I mean, given what I told you guys before session...
Let's go ahead and wrap up.
Alright. And then we can talk after.
Yee.
Yeah. We can hear Andy, the radio show announcer, after.
Sorry, I'm waiting for everything to work.
That's okay, it's okay. At least we can understand you.
We can
So-
understand you, and it sounds like a cool radio filter.
Yee. So, does anybody have anything they want to promote, shout out, or announce?
Not currently. I will soon.
Not currently, but yeah, not yet.
Nope.
Nah.
I'm looking forward to you guys getting to fight this thing, because it's my own custom version of this creature.
Yee.
Which is why I felt comfortable saying its name.
Myth, do you have anything you need to or want to do any of that?
No.
Okay.
I thought I said it, but maybe I just kind of mumbled it.
I heard humming coming from your end, so
Oh. No, yeah, no, I don't got anything.
fair enough. Okay, so if you enjoyed this and you want to find out what happens next with our lovely band of adventurers, you can join us hopefully next Saturday. There's some personal things going on for me that may prevent that. But, you know, provided things go well, we'll be back next Saturday at or around 8 p.m. EST. We did it pretty damn close to on time today. I think we were only like, 5 to 10 minutes late?
I think we were pretty on time, period.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, come back to this channel next Saturday at or around 8 p.m. EST to find out what's going to happen with this combat we're going to be getting into next session.
Yeah.
And for right now, it's just our Saturday game.
Yeah.
Well, when things stabilize for, you know, other nights of the week, those will go back in this little announcement section here at the end of things. But until then, we're just doing Saturdays.
Yeah.
So, does everyone want to say goodnight?
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. I'm the one who tortures.
Yee. But it's fun. So, good night, everybody. We'll see you next week, provided everything goes smoothly in and out of game.
Yeah.
Night!
Hey. Snow Bunny.